Coming up on the Elon Phoenix Weekly.
We examine the prolific career of yet another great wide receiver in Elon's football history.
Plus, we look at a man who built Elon into the athletics program it is today.
All that and more next on the Elon Phoenix Weekly.
Good morning and welcome to another edition of the Elon Phoenix Weekly. I'm Scarlett Fakar.
And I'm Derek Scully. Thanks for joining us on your ESPN2 Local Sports Break. We begin today in Rhodes Stadium, where most Saturdays you can catch the Phoenix running a well-oiled passing machine.
The guy making it all work, quarterback Thomas Wilson, who early on this season is leading the Southern Conference in both passing yards and touchdowns.
Elon senior quarterback Thomas Wilson is now under the helm for his second season as the starting quarterback for the Phoenix. With a year's worth of experience under his belt, he talks about the differences between his rookie year and this season.
This definitely feels more comfortable. Having a season under my belt, coming out here, being the quarterback of the offense and the leader of the team, I feel more comfortable with our play scheme, with the team, with the coaches, the players around us and everybody. It feels more comfortable after a year under our belt. We are excited for the season, ready to come out here and play, and get ready for conference play.
Wilson also recognizes the importance of being a leader on the team and how his performance can impact the younger players around him.
You got to take control of the team. You got to do things by example, both on and off the field. Set good examples for the younger guys especially, because those are the ones that are going to look up to the upperclassmen and the leaders of the team.
With his year's worth of experience, Wilson now seeks to improve on mistakes made last year, particularly mistakes involving turning over the ball.
We had quite a few turnovers last year as an offense, and as a quarterback I had too many. That's something we worked on in the offseason. The offense, me personally, working with Coach Pence, our offensive coordinator and quarterbacks coach. We had, I think, 22 or 3 interceptions last year, and so we're trying to cut down on those turnovers offensively and trying to limit those, and then again create turnovers on defense, so our turnover ratio will be in the pluses.
While turnovers may have been a problem, Wilson's connection with senior wideout Aaron Mellette was anything a coach could have asked for. By the end of last season, the two had connected for 113 catches, 1,639 yards, and 12 touchdowns.
We've been together now for 4 years. Both came in together as redshirt freshmen and are both leaving together after this year. So we've become good friends and good teammates. Communication has been really high level for us. I know where he's going to be on the field, just about every route. He knows when I'm going to throw the ball, when to break out of cuts and stuff like that. And we both have high aspirations for the season and then afterwards. I know he's getting a lot of attention from the NFL and whatnot, which is great. I'm excited for him. Everybody on the team's excited for him, and we're all looking forward to that. But between me and Aaron, we've worked well together on the field, and last year it kind of showed, getting him the ball so many times and having him break some records and score a bunch of touchdowns and catch a lot of balls. It was good, and hopefully we can jump back into that this year and go full strong into the conference.
This year, Wilson is not only excited to be throwing to Mellette, but also to a number of other receivers ready to make a greater impact on the team.
We got a great receiving core, if not the best in the conference, one of the top in the country. So I'm really excited about that this year. We got guys inside like Kier, JP, Andre Davis, some freshmen with Blake Rice who transferred from quarterback position. And then outside we got Aaron, we got Rasan, we got Danny, and we got Ricky. So they're all making plays for us. We've got a lot of good receivers out there, and just looking forward to getting them the ball and letting them make plays.
And like most other players on the team, Wilson's goal is to win the SoCon championship.
Well, our goal is definitely to win a SoCon championship and get into the playoffs, and then kind of keep rolling from there.
You can catch Elon's high-powered passing attack in action again next weekend for homecoming against Western Carolina.
It always helps out a quarterback to have a go-to target, and Wilson certainly has that with number 3, Aaron Mellette. Casey Stark has more.
He's a first-team All-SoCon pick by both coaches and the media, and a first-team All-American selection. He led the FCS in receptions and set an Elon University and Southern Conference record for single-season receiving yards. And he passed the 3,000 career receiving yards mark all before his senior year. I spoke with Phoenix wide receiver Aaron Mellette about what record he's out to break next in his final season at Elon University.
Pass complete to number 3, Aaron Mellette, for a touchdown, Elon.
First off, passing the 3,000 yard receiving mark was pretty cool. It's something I had my sights set on since the end of last season, and hopefully I can pass McGeorge for number 2 and also cross into the 4,000 yard mark before the season is over.
What would you like to see happen for the Phoenix this fall?
To make sure we get a winning season first, that's the first off, and then hopefully make a run in the playoffs. That's what I really want to do, put another little banner out there beside the one from a couple of years back.
Can you tell me a little bit about your experience as a basketball player?
Basketball, yeah, growing up, that was my love. I still play it to this day whenever I get a chance. It taught me a lot of discipline with team sport as well, and helped me with hand-eye coordination apparently. So it's going pretty good. It's carried over a lot, especially going up for jump balls and things of that nature.
Do you have any pregame rituals to help you get in the mindset for a game?
Yes, I do. I ate up with a container of Cinnamon Toast Crunch before every game. I have to have that to function. Also, I say Psalms 23 right before I hit the field. So that's something important to me. And other than that, just lay around the locker room and listen to music.
Is there anyone in particular that you look up to or that you would consider a role model?
As far as role models, I'll say first off my father and then my uncles. I look up to all of them. I think highly of each of them in their own separate way, so those will be the role models of my life.
I'm sure they're really proud of you.
Yes, they are.
I hear you have a nickname, Merle. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Yes, the Merle nickname is actually my first name,
Okay.
but when coming out, Coach Limbo used to call me Merle, and nobody knew where it came from, so most people thought it was my nickname, so they're pretty shocked when I tell them it's actually my first name. That trending topic, it's pretty cool. I would like to see it actually make a national trending topic one day. If anybody has a hashtag, I mean, it makes it pretty cool, I guess.
The website NFL Draft Scout has already ranked you as the 3rd best senior wide receiver and a top prospect for the 2013 draft. And Jane Brugler of the NFLDraftScout.com said, despite not facing elite defenses each week, NFL teams and pro scouts are well aware of Mellette and his remarkable production. So what's your reaction to that?
Being ranked in the top 5 of the senior receiver class, it's a blessing. That shows that my hard work these last few years has paid off, and being a top prospect for the upcoming draft, it's pretty cool. I mean, how many guys? I don't know too many guys that have been that coming out of Elon, especially like from Scott Riddle and Terrell Hudgens. So I mean, it's pretty cool to be considered an elite prospect with the players from the FBS level.
Mm-hmm. How do you feel like playing for a smaller school has affected your football career? Is that more or less pressure?
It's more pressure at times just because I know I'm not playing the elite teams every week. So when I get my opportunity to play the FBS schools, I gotta make sure I take full advantage of it. Or when I play the App States and the Georgia Southern, I gotta make sure I have a good game because the scouts will be there watching to see how I do against the top competition on each level.
Your success has definitely placed you in a leadership role for your teammates. Is there anything in particular you plan on doing to carry that role?
Just doing what I do best, leading by example, trying to keep the team together and practice what I'm preaching out there. I mean, if I'm telling somebody else to go hard, I gotta make sure I'm going hard myself.
Thank you, Casey. The chemistry between Mellette and his quarterback led to a career day last weekend against rival Appalachian State, as Mellette had 237 yards on 13 catches.
And that brings us to today's trivia. Thomas Wilson is in hot pursuit of becoming Elon's 2nd leading all-time passer behind his predecessor, Scott Riddle. But do you know how many yards Scott Riddle amassed during his time under center? The answer to that coming up later.
We've got to take a quick commercial break, but when we come back, we kick it around with women's soccer player Olivia Mackey.
And later we look at the remarkable impact Dr. Danley has made on athletics.
As we go to break, take a look at some of this week's games and events.
An Elon education is about preparing students for a life of global citizenship. Of course, this is a place where you're going to come and earn a degree, but it's also a place that's going to get you to think very deeply about how you're going to use that degree to make the world a better place.
You're watching the Elon Phoenix Weekly on ESPN2. There are currently over 350 Elon student athletes competing in 16 NCAA Division I sports.
Scholarships enable us to succeed not only on the field,
but also in the classroom.
It helps us in achieving our commitment.
To live the maroon life.
Your gifts have the power to take Phoenix athletics to even greater heights while giving student athletes an outstanding education.
The Elon Phoenix Weekly is made possible by the students of the School of Communications in association with the dedicated coaches, athletes, and staff of Elon Athletics.
Elon's women's soccer team is led by the energetic Olivia Mackey, who you may not see scoring a ton of goals, but she is seemingly involved in every play.
When you attend your next Elon women's soccer game, take a look at the field for a second. The standard soccer field is 75 yards wide by 120 yards long, and each team has 11 players to cover all that space. One player on Elon's team seems intent on covering every last inch of the field.
My name is Olivia Mackey. I'm a center midfielder, and my number is 13.
Soccer has been a part of Mackey's life since a young age, and she has her dad to thank for helping guide her along the way.
He's been a really big supporter of me throughout this whole process, and he played when he was younger, and he was my coach when I was younger, and I don't know, I just always find myself going to him for advice.
Eventually, Mackey realized she had an opportunity to play at a high level and committed herself to getting prepared to take that next step.
Well, when I started getting really serious about it, like at the club level, around like 8th grade, 7th, 8th grade, I hoped that it would happen, and I tried very hard in practice and games to make it happen, and I just made it a goal of mine to make it happen.
Pick up the intensity!
And that try-hard attitude didn't stop after Mackey reached her goal. Last year, Mackey earned 3rd team All-Region and 2nd team All-Conference honors, but as great as it is to be recognized individually, it's team success that she cares about the most.
Obviously, it's a great honor, but I try to focus more on my team goals, and I like succeeding as a team more than obviously by myself. But it's an honor to be recognized by other coaches in the conference. My number one goal is to win a Southern Conference championship. I would love to wear that ring on my finger.
Everyone gets to see Olivia Mackey, the soccer player, out on the field, but off the field, she loves spending time with her teammates and cheering on her fellow student athletes.
I'm really school-spirited. I love to get into the whole school atmosphere. In high school, I was really school-spirited, face paint, everything.
Mackey and the Phoenix look to build off their first SoCon win as they head deeper into conference play.
The team had a rough out-of-conference schedule to begin the season, but now in the heart of their SoCon slate, the team looks strong as they enter their final 3-game stretch.
One of the toughest challenges a collegiate sports team can face is having no seniors. Their experience and leadership sets the pace for the rest of the team. Elon's men's golf team tries to tackle this hurdle.
On collegiate sports teams, seniors are usually considered the leaders. This year's Elon men's golf team is unique in that there are no seniors and all will be returning next year. Head coach Bill Morningstar and a couple of golfers offered a special insight into how this came to be and how it has impacted this year's team.
Last year we had about 4 or 5 kids red-shirted that we had held out, and we had 4 or 5 that had played. We had everybody but one coming back, and so we sort of felt like we had like 8 or 10 kids here that were pretty good players. Well, I don't do a whole lot from one year to the next. I'm sort of hey, let's see how these kids are going to do in the fall, how we're going to play before I really look to see, okay, what do we need for next year.
Seeing that I'm like my 4th year here, but not really a senior, kind of have like the most experience. I was here my freshman year when I wasn't playing in tournaments, but I mean, I still have that team atmosphere, and I get to know a lot of the older guys then, so I was looking up to them, and now if they're gone, I'm kind of like taking their place.
It makes us like a young team, but I mean, I don't really consider like my team like juniors and freshmen or seniors. We're just like what we are, and it doesn't make really importance for me.
The team has only 4 juniors, and the rest of the 13-man roster is made up of sophomores and freshmen. However, those juniors like John Summers and Jack Atkins still carry a lot of experience and are ready to pass on their knowledge when necessary.
Well, basically, we all play different games, and I just want to give them like little basic knowledge that we've gained over the years of playing the tournaments and everything. So anything that will help them out and make them play better would be the advice I'd give them.
We didn't know the course usually, so they try like to tell me where to hit the ball and stuff for the practice round.
I always want everybody to be better, so I'm always pushing them, and if they're not getting better, then I get frustrated, they get frustrated.
If they're playing well, then they can sort of say, hey, what about you getting it together out there? But this is a unique group. It's probably one of the closest knit groups that I've had in years, and they seem to all get along with each other and care about each other, so I think that's very important.
And with no one graduating next year, this team has another year to bond and build an even stronger team chemistry.
With the recruiting of the 3 or 4 this past year and what we had back, we think it's going to be a really good team in the spring, and next year it should really be a good guy.
Since we're not losing anybody this year, we're just going to get even stronger together, and our team bond is just, I think it's one of the best team bondings we've had in years past.
Despite its youthful standing, the team finished 5th out of 11 teams in their tournament and looks to improve that starting tomorrow at the Donald Ross Intercollegiate.
And that brings us to today's history.
Today in Elon sports history, we go back to 1891, where gossip of creating a football team first emerged on Elon's campus. Due to the violent nature of the game, talks stalled, and in 1905, President Theodore Roosevelt threatened to ban football after viewing photographs of an injured player. However, after meeting with important collegiate officials at the White House, Roosevelt created the NCAA, which claimed football and popularized the sport. Then in the fall of 1909, football was introduced as an intercollegiate sport in Elon College. One important player on this team was Dr. Leon Smith, who served as Elon's president for more than 25 years. And that's today's look into Elon sports history.
We've got to take another break, but on the other side of these commercials, we will examine the profound impact Dr. Earl Daniel has had on the Phoenix.
As we go to break, check out more Elon sporting events coming up this week.
There are currently over 350 Elon student athletes competing in 16 NCAA Division I sports.
Scholarships enable us to succeed not only on the field,
but also in the classroom.
It helps us in achieving our commitment.
To live the maroon life.
Your gifts have the power to take Phoenix athletics to even greater heights while giving student athletes an outstanding education.
We'll be right back to the Elon Phoenix Weekly on ESPN2.
An Elon education is about preparing students for a life of global citizenship. Of course, this is a place where you're going to come and earn a degree, but it's also a place that's going to get you to think very deeply about how you're going to use that degree to make the world a better place.
Through their daily pursuit of excellence, Elon student athletes have gained recognition for their achievements both on and off the field.
Building a winning tradition takes hard work and dedication.
Dedication to the maroon life.
Where success is not only measured by just wins and trophies, but also by the knowledge we gain.
At Elon, we're more than just athletes.
We're student athletes.
Providing support enables success, helps sustain the winning tradition of Elon athletics, while securing the future of our student athletes for years to come.
And now back to the Elon Phoenix Weekly on ESPN2.
Welcome back to the Elon Phoenix Weekly on your ESPN2 Local Sports Break.
Earlier in the show, we asked, how many yards did Scott Riddle throw during his time at Elon? The answer, 13,264. Not just an Elon, but also a Southern Conference record. At the time of his graduation, Riddle was the holder of 41 NCAA, Southern Conference, and Elon records.
Though Scott Riddle's impact is readily evident in the game, Elon's sixth president and current chemistry professor Dr. Daniel could be considered a pillar of Phoenix athletics. You may not see his name in the record books, and he has no conference or national titles to his name, but much of what Elon has accomplished would not be possible without his dedication and diligence.
Dr. James Earl Daniel, on behalf of the Board of Trustees, we thank you. Thank you for being there, for standing up, and we honor you for your indelible mark and contribution to this college.
Daniel is an established and celebrated name on the campus of Elon. Dr. Earl Daniel graduated from Elon in 1946. He went on to become a professor of chemistry, dean of the college, and president of the school. Daniel has shaped Elon's image, academics, and athletics. His first interaction with any sport came when he was a high school student living on his family's farm.
When I graduated from high school, I weighed 310 pounds, so I was not about to be an athlete. My daddy loved baseball. He was really a baseball fan. Then he actually had farm teams in the summer. He'd get the farmers together, the young boys, and have a team. Well, I couldn't play because I was big and fat, so I kept score. I was the official scorekeeper, and I was real proud of my scorebook.
As a student at Elon in the 1940s, Daniel enjoyed watching Elon sports, but was disappointed by wartime athletics.
The really able men had gone off to war. We had a very, very weak team. To show you how awful it was. The man who was in charge of coaching knew very little basketball, and I actually saw him standing on the court with the team with a book in hand, and he would read a paragraph or less and then talk about it. He didn't know it well enough to coach without the book. And I just thought, this is so awful. If he doesn't know basketball better than that, we were in trouble.
As a professor, Daniel even suggested to then-President Leon Smith that Elon discontinue its football program.
Since the coach was gone, that I thought it'd be a great time to discontinue football, just not have a football team. Well, I did not get a warm reception from Smith. Smith he loved his athletics. He gave scholarships. His rationale was this: I've got dormitory rooms, so I can allow an athlete to room in the dorm without costing me anything. I've got vacant spaces in the classroom, so I can let the boy go to class, and that doesn't cost anything. So the only thing that costs anything for me to bring this guy who's going to play football or whatever is his food.
Daniel took Smith's scholarship philosophy to heart and developed his own ideas about athletic scholarship.
I don't see any reason why a good student can't play ball, or why a good ball player can't be a student. And so that's been something I've been very interested in.
After becoming president in 1957, Daniel decided to implement his ideas.
I decided right away that I would take control of the athletic program. I remember having an alumni meeting in Winston-Salem. Alumni of the area, we got together and had dinner. And then I spoke a little while, and then I told them that they could ask questions. And one of the guys who asked a question, why don't you have a booster club for athletics? And I say to him, because I am going to be in charge of the athletic program.
Perhaps Daniel's biggest accomplishment was founding intercollegiate women's athletics at Elon. In 1971, he hired a high school coach from Gibsonville named Kay Yao to coach Elon's first intercollegiate women's basketball team.
And that was really the beginning of girls basketball in the state, as well as here. Well, then, of course, Title IX comes along, and that was the encouragement that we needed to have all these other outstanding programs.
Dr. Daniel decided to honor his coaches and athletes, creating an Elon Sports Hall of Fame in 1972.
It has turned out to be a very, very satisfying. Every year, new people are selected, and the number of people who qualify is increasing.
And in 2008, Daniel was surprised by an award from the very establishment he created.
We've started to get up, and Jim Wagner said, wait a minute, everybody sit down. He said, Dr. Daniel, we got a little business we want to take care of. You can just listen. And they voted me in the Hall of Fame. And I couldn't believe it.
Recognition for the work of Dr. Daniel continues today with a unique tradition.
And Jason decided it would be nice for them to call out my name. So one night we were at a basketball game, and all of a sudden I realized that Jason and the boys around him were saying, Dr. Daniel. And I said, Verona, they called my name. She said, I thought that's what that was. And I wasn't real sure, because I never heard of any such thing as that. So I decided I had to acknowledge it some way, so I stood up. And then they really gave me a cheer. And I thought, I don't know about this. I had a towel with me, just in case they did this again. Well, that game, about halfway through the second half, they started yelling again. And I got up and waved my towel. And boy, they really yelled then. And I told President Lambert later, I think I like that.
Well, that's our show for today. If you missed anything or you want to watch it again, be sure to check us out on YouTube at youtube.com/Elon Phoenix Weekly.
Also be sure to visit elonphoenix.com, your #1 source for all the maroon and gold buzz.
On behalf of the producers and crew here at the show, we hope you continue to have a spectacular weekend.
For the Elon Phoenix Weekly, I'm Scarlett Fakar.
And I'm Derek Scully. Thanks for watching.